Hey everybody, this is your Professor David Britt. Welcome to MSOM 600 Module 2 Preview. I'm coming to you today from the Marriott Courtyard in Walla Walla, Washington. This is in southeastern Washington, down close to the Columbia River in the Columbia wine region. And I would be shooting this outside in some beautiful scenery, except it's raining right now. So which is probably pretty good. They've been having some wildfires down in this area, so it's good to actually get some rain. So what I wanted to do is just give you a preview of Module 2 and talk a bit about some of the specifics that you'll have going forward. In Module 2, you're going to be reading in your textbook Chapter 4 this week, and the topic is about reading critically and analyzing rhetorically. Remember that word from Module 1, the rhetorical situation, and how do you analyze things basis all those 6 different elements that you shot back to me in Module 1. And so this will help you with your skepticism, if you will, in reading. I encourage researchers in graduate programs to be skeptics. Don't be a cynic, but be a skeptic as you read, and so that will be part of your understanding this week as you read Chapter 4 in your textbook. In the APA book this week, you're going to be reading Chapter 2, and you're going to be focusing on manuscript structure and content. I purposefully did not make a lot of comments on your papers because I knew that this week you're going to be talking about and you're going to be studying in the APA manual about manuscript structure and content. And by that, this is where it talks about the cover page, the abstract, the introduction, the body headings, the conclusion, the references, figures and charts and tables and all those things. And so make sure you pay close attention to this because this week I'll be looking at those things. Okay? Let's see. Your textbook lecture this week is going to focus on something that I developed, and I call it the discussion board 3-step. The discussion board 3-step. Now, a lot of people who come into online programs don't understand, and I don't even think professors know how to use them sometimes, discussion boards and discussion forums. And discussion forums and discussion boards can be a very, very key piece of your learning. And so what I did was I created a 3-step program that hopefully will help you begin to think about how to frame up your discussion board posts. And then also to show you how they can apply the very next day if you catch your boss in the elevator, okay? And so the discussion board 3-step is simply this. You're going to be posed a question, right? So I'm going to pose a question to you, and what I want you to do is do these 3 things. I want you to state your theory. There's going to be something that's going to be very important to you. So if you have a question, you're going to have a theory on how to answer that. So state your theory, number 1. The second step is to support your theory. Support your theory with peer-reviewed sources that you're going to find at the CSU online library. So if you have a theory, but it's just, hey, this is just my idea, and so be it, not very effective research, right? So state your theory, step 1. Support your theory, step 2, and then apply your theory. And application on this can be anything from examples to different criteria. So here, I want to give you an example. Let's suppose that tomorrow you meet your boss in the elevator. And let's say that she asked you, she said, hey, business is really off this month. Why is business off? Well, what can happen is if you're just a person who's going to throw out general stuff, you're going to go, well, the competition's really tough, and we just have to execute better, and so on and so on. Your boss is going to leave the elevator and go, wow, that didn't help me out very much. And so you can use, actually, the 3-step process to help answer your boss. So if your boss is talking about, wow, what's happening with the business? It's awfully slow right now. Well, let's just say, for example, you respond and say, well, if you compare this year to last year, we actually had 4 more promotions last year during this same period of time than we have this year. And because we have less promotion this year, our volume is going to be down just a bit. However, the application part of this is next month we will have 4 more promotions than we have the year before, and so we're going to be able to catch up and against the promotions during that period of time. So I would anticipate by the end of next month our business will be back on track, but just not looking at it on this particular 1 month level. And so your boss is going to think about that and go, wow, David knew what he was talking about. That's pretty good. And so she'll leave the elevator and have really good thoughts about you, right? And so what I'm saying with all of this is that come up with a process. Come up with a process that will work for you. And I would guarantee you, these are the type of things that get people promoted. So if you think about this 3-step process, think about it not only for discussion boards, but think about it in life in general. State your theory, support your theory, and apply your theory. Okay? And so that in a nutshell is the discussion board 3-step that you're going to learn about in the textbook lecture this period. And then the APA lecture will deal with paper structure. All right? So on to deliverables. What do you have to do this week? Well, you're going to have 4 things you're going to have to do. 1, you're going to have a discussion board that talks about the importance of discussion forums. Look at these very critically and go, how can these benefit me? Based upon the diversity of the people in the class, based upon the ideas that are presented, and so on and so on. I just wanted to give you an example, by the way, of the discussion board 3-step. So that could be something that could be a benefit as well. The short answer this week will ask you a series of questions. There are going to be several questions here, so I don't expect you to be incredibly detailed here. You can be brief, but just make sure you're specific in your answers because there are so many questions. But what I'm asking you to do is to take a look at the paper you supported last week and then look at all of these questions I have that are based upon the readings that you have this week and tell me whether your paper met those or not. Be honest with yourself, okay? So this isn't, if your paper didn't meet that, I'm not counting off for that. Honestly, I'll probably give you a special star because you're being honest with yourself as you go forward on these. So the short answer this week, there are going to be several questions there. You can be brief with those, but just analyze your paper against those questions and see if they make sense. And then the key takeaway on that one is not just answering the questions, but as you go to write your paper, making sure that you address those. And then your paper update this week, remember, you're going to be taking the same paper that you submitted in Module 1 and you're going to be updating it. And the first thing I want you to do is to fix the issues that I noted in the gradebook. I'm going to be grading those the first couple of days of this week. So you should have those back in your hands by Wednesday or so you'll be able to correct those issues that I have in there. And again, remember, I don't address every single issue in there because this is a cumulative process. So, number 1, fix the issues that I noted last week. But this week I'm going to be focusing on clarity of communication. How clear and specific are you in your points? And then, is there a defined connection between the points you make and your topic? Are the applications that you make logical? Are they clear? Does the paper itself support the main idea of your paper? Does the paper then follow appropriate APA presentations and appropriate APA styles that you're going to be learning this week as you read the APA chapter and also look at the APA lecture, okay? And then the test this week will be 5 short questions on discussion forums and some of the mechanics of those as you go forward. All right? I hope this was helpful for you. If any of you need to chat with me, just send me an email with some times you can chat and your phone number, and I'll be glad to meet with you on the phone. All right? Have a great week. Take care.